It's hard to read without light, but you know what's even harder? Getting out of bed when you want to go to sleep to turn off the light at the other end of the room. But not if you have a crab. This lamp is intended to be more than just a closer light switch though. When I was a child, I loved reading books. It was one of the best things in the world. I sometimes found myself so lost in them, along with the pages hours would fly by. I remember feeling super excited when my parents bought a new bed with these flexible reading lights attached. They really hurt your eyes, but I was super excited. I used them so much it became a reminder to me of all of the great stories I could dive into at the end of the day, that even though it was the end of the day, there was still an adventure waiting for me in my book. I hadn't thought about that in years, but when I went to visit my parents a few weeks ago, I saw the same lights on the same bed and it really made me want to read. The lights no longer work, but the feeling was still there. That's why, along with not having to get out of bed, I want to build a lamp to rebuild my reading habits. But why not just get a standing light, or a reading lamp, or even a small table with a lamp on it? Come on guys, let's be realistic. Say it with me. But none of these are crabs. Exactly. Now here's the plan. When you're chilling out and being cool and reading and stuff, if the light source comes from just above you onto the book, that's gonna be great. I also want it to be really easy to turn on and off, and honestly, when you're reading in bed late at night, the last thing you want to do is try and put in mental effort to find a switch. So the switch is going to be huge. Huge. I'm going to be using these LEDs as the light source. You can typically find these in hardware stores. They're normally connected to these battery packs, which takes 3 AA batteries. Batteries are great, but I don't really want to use them for this. It's not something that needs to be portable. Instead, I'll be using this adapter. The only problem is when I hook these up to the lights, like this, it is very bright. Watch this. Muhahaha. Ha. Ha. Yeah. Hello there. That's very much because the power source is at 6.5 volts and 3 batteries worth of power is only 4.5 volts. I'm going to fix that by using some resistors. As you can see, I did some calculations on this piece of paper, which if you look closely, are actually all incorrect. After using the internet to prevent an electrical fire, I figured out that I needed 2 100 ohm resistors in parallel, which weirdly makes it have less resistance. So I need all of the LEDs to face the front, which is going to increase the amount of light going forwards. It's really advanced science. Making folds in this LED strip in a way which the LEDs sit in between other LEDs when you go down a row. You'll see what I mean. But guys, there is something that I haven't told you yet, which is that he may have been a crab when you saw him, but he wasn't always going to be a crab. Once upon a time, in this bit of the process, he was only going to be a box. But why is it that a box lamp isn't good enough? Come on guys, you know, say it with me. But none of these are crabs. My eyes are fuzzy from staring at that for so long. Ooh, fuzzy eyes. Yeah. Let's build a mounting plate. So I 3D modeled this box. Hello, I'm a creepy little box dude. Box. Da. So I 3D printed that. I also fixed the resistors and the wiring in this box so that there is no short circuits happening. Whilst looking through a storage box, I found some of this diffusion material. I was initially going to try and diffuse the lights using a 3D printed plate, but I found some of this and I made a little plate out of it. So I've also just printed these little bracket things. I guess they're not brackets, they're just pieces of plastic, but essentially they're just going to sit so that this has a place to sit. Ooh, magic. It looks quite bland. What I do like is that this pattern here looks kind of like the underside or the underbelly of lots of different types of animals like beetles or snakes. Literally a rectangle, and most animals aren't really rectangular. Guys, I think I've found what I want to turn it into. Look at him. He's magnificent.
Many hours later.
Guys, he's beautiful. Hello. I also printed this piece to mount the switch onto. It fits like a... Okay, I added a top bit. Oh yeah. Look at him. Hello. My name is Crabman. Who's just a crab. And not a man at all. He's a real character. So I've never made any switches before, but here's what I was thinking. You got two bits, and then you have a swivelly bit. And then it's got the bits on the inside that just connect two pieces of wire together. I put in little indents to increase the surface area with some tin foil so that the point of contact is more likely to happen. That's basically it. But this switch is not huge, as promised. This one isn't huge either, but it turned out to be a really good size. Turns out that things don't need to be huge for them to work just as well. Maybe. So I separated the wires going from the battery pack so I can put the switch in between. I cut one of the wires and stripped the ends. I then folded some of the foil to make better contact points and glued them in place. The instrumental moment. No, crab. Crab. Here's a shot of me looking suspicious, followed by a satisfying click. Here's what people had to say about it.
Wow!
If you made it this far in the video, genuinely, thank you so much. This crab lamp not only reminds me to build better reading habits, but also was a great source of inspiration to start making YouTube videos again. I think it's nice to have a visual reminder for the things we want to achieve or work on in our day-to-day life. This is why I uploaded the files for free, so if you want to, you can build your own crab lamp. Let me know what you think his name should be. There's also something unexpected I found whilst making this video. I was hesitant to get into YouTube again because of the quality of videos that are available to us. I mean, people have huge teams of 10 or 20 individuals for their channels, but when I slowed down, I ended up working more on it. And I also found this for reading books. It's nice to just read books for the sake of reading them and not for the sake of building habits. The habits form themselves, but it definitely makes a difference to have a crab dude remind you that it's okay to read just because.